Stewardship with SNB. Hello, good afternoon everyone. Thank you for joining us on the program Stewardship with SNB on Rstvlive. My name is Solomon Nelson. This program is watched on GoTV channel 142 and StarTime channel 113. You can also join us on social media handles such as YouTube and Facebook at Rstvlive Online. Today again, the moving train of Stewardship with SNB birthed at ASARI local government area, where we will meet with those who have been saddled with the responsibility of governance at that level, meaning bringing governance to the doorstep for the people. And that's the essence of creating the local government administration that we know in the country and of course in the world around. Today on the program, I'm joined by a man who has had a taste of what civil service means in the past. Now he has been brought to test again to administer the local government area. I'm talking about IBIAPUYE Charles Esquire, the administrator of ASARI local government area, who is joining me on the conversation. Honorable IBIAPUYE, thank you so much for joining us. All right, let us start it this way. What are your terms of reference in juxtaposition with the policy thrust of your administration?
Well, my purpose in terms of reference in respect of the policy thrust of this administration is that is to provide an impactful governance in line with the mandate given to our members of the administration. That line we are giving sanitation, the of sanitation, primary healthcare, primary education, entertainment, and workers' welfare and discipline. So now that when I resumed, I looked at first of all sanitation. We set up what we call green and clean core, which has about 135 members, women, men, and boys throughout the local government. And particularly the local government headquarters, they sweep from the major street along the river. Then we have for every other day they sweep. And it's a testimony when you go to the river as well. But we didn't stop there. We went to various communities. If you go to ASARI now from where we call 10 junction to the river, the links along those are clearly cut out. You can stand and fast into the end. It's a straight to go. Then once we go down to the other communities in the Tema, Foko, Kakama, and others, then under those, we are going to have this transparent and all that. So we are also looking at that area. So in the area of sanitation, we are on board, we have changed the purpose of this administration to provide an impactful government. We have a feel the impact of governance. The first step in the area of sanitation, this is what we've done. Then we have also made proper arrangements, but we have a big canal somewhere along this compound, running through our big compound, very big canal. So we get the necessary equipment to the evacuation so that before the wind comes properly in July, the flow is there of course for the area.
Interesting. All right, so how would you describe yourself, especially as it relates to public administration?
Well, I was privileged by grace of God to work for 35 years as a federal citizen, particularly in the Independent Electoral Commission, and I retired as elect. So I have only now the training and capacity and ability.
Okay, there are different political interest groups in ASARI area. And you are a national administrator. How are you able to manage these interest groups in ASARI?
Well, in politics, interest not that much. But the interest of the people is very powerful. interest as an administrator of the area is to be political and to ensure that the interest of the majority is paramount in the delivery of the goals of this administration. And that's what we do. But we went further to ensure that we listen peradventure there is a mistake somewhere, not deliberate but omission. We listen to the complaints of the stakeholders and try to make amends.
Stakeholders on both sides?
Yes, yes, stakeholders of every divide, yes. Because they know me, I've been there for, I think I've been there for some time, and they know that I'm a political issue. So if my lines are open, I will not fall line. And nobody that calls me, anybody, whether the thing is registered or not, I will pick that. So I keep a room to listen to complain. And there's a desk in front of my office.
Okay.
Where if you have them in the room, especially in section. So when people have here to ventilate the ideas and complaints, petitions can choose to be there. Because I've told them our interest is to make governance meaningful to the people and the country.
Interesting. So let's move straight to health issues. What is the current state of the Bukuma General Hospital? And what are you doing to improve the health services?
Yes, the community health center will have 15 in the local government, but there are 5 model centers. So what I've done and a sick day to effectively start, we started ensuring that we have a cool room change. The cool room change room and the sick day in the council is effective. We install the solar system there so that vaccines and whatever is given to the government nobody can get for the council. We've done that. Now we are going to look at the Bukuma primary care center, one of the model care centers. I mean, there I have discussion with the doctor who has given me what he needs, drugs and all that, innovation, and improve on the solar light, solar system that NPN installed there so that the light will go around the various sections and it will function at least. They are working, but they are not at the ultimate. But we want to give them this facility so that our people can go there and get the best health services. We want to make health accessible to the people, available and quality, and reduce the cost. So we are also going to provide drugs.
Okay, the council will provide
drugs.
Yes,
we provide not free.
For as many health services possible.
Yes, as many health, but not for free, but for a token.
Okay, affordable
yes,
cost to it. All right, Bukuma is not the only community in the city. How much do you know about the cluster communities? And what are you doing to also improve those communities? Improve the living standard of those communities. The cluster communities that make up Bukuma.
Yes. ASARI told you have the ASARI communities from
yeah.
Before that. We have shown good intention. As I said, this government is to get the need of government, the impactful nature should keep the building inside of the various communities. In our sanitation effort, we didn't do it we went as far as the Tema to Fokuru cleared.
Alright.
The Krakrama, Minama, Sama, and cleared.
Yes,
cleared. So we have done that sanitation wise.
Bukuma used to be a flashpoint of insecurity in the past, if you can recall. Are you doing anything so that the community will not slide into the old era of insecurity?
Yes. When I came, I first of all had to get security. So I had a security meeting with security officers. Regular security meeting. But I had my security brief every day. And I set up a committee in various 13 wards and the community ensuring that we have an intelligence that gives us feedbacks. We don't rely, because the police are not there in those 13 Krakrama, and we have the presence of the police in Alabama and it is in the one and this will have the hands. But from those of them up the river, Krakrama down there, it's difficult for them. So we have to do this community policing. We have to do this information. Therefore, but what we have put the team pipeline, and coordinator was used, I've already set up the decision modalities. We want to do aggressive youth engagement. We started it, but we're not waiting for forms.
Administrators, this question is a direct question. We don't invite you. Your colleagues have all bought new SUV cars for themselves as soon as they received first allocation of the flight. Did you also do that? Is that necessary? Is it one of the terms of reference?
Okay. The car used is not an SUV. What do you call it? Toyota Hilux. I don't believe in flamboyancy. I'm a retired civil servant and I'm a conservative person. So everybody likes his priority. My priority is to serve. And ASARI is not buoyant enough to even go to those laws. Buoyant enough. That's not my style. So my desire is to leave office, to leave ASARI better than where I met them. Not to acquire.
Irrespective of time constraints,
yes.
We have a very short time.
So these are not even my priority. Even I would have been an administrator. Even in my official capacity. I don't see the needs of such flamboyant life.
We'll take a short break, and when we return, my guest will tell us how much you have received so far from the federal allocation accruing to ASARI area. Stay with us. Stewardship with SNB. Stewardship with SNB. Well, if you have just joined us, the program is Stewardship with SNB on Rstvlive. This program can only be watched on GoTV channel 142 and Start Time channel 113. We are also on social media handles such as YouTube and Facebook at Rstvlive Online. Join us and of course make your comments in the comment section. My guest is IBIAPUYE Charles Esquire, is the administrator of ASARI area. Honorable Administrator, once again welcome to our program. Alright, could you share with us the assets and liabilities you inherited and when you assumed office, and how has that helped you for impeded the progress of work in ASARI area?
I met the functional office. The resources already depleted by virtue of about 56% of what comes to the local government goes to the salary.
No, I haven't asked you
what is that. So for what I can't really vividly tell you offhand, because I wouldn't give you the premium rate of what you want to ask. I cannot really recall exact amount. But I never met an empty treasury. What I've done speaks for itself. For the 2 months and let me say the meaningful 1 month and which I received, I have shown one in the area of education. This classroom initiative, classroom champions initiative, there are 50,000 exercises with the accessories, and we have covered for 2,000 bags, but because of the constraint of school bags, not just mere school bags, quality school bags, and we're going to distribute it to the students.
Only secondary schools? Or
No, primary school, nursery schools, and secondary schools. We've also gone to the area of intervening in the areas dilapidated primary school. The ones we can take now, we are going to do the naming of primary school, provide water for them, and renovate it to be functional.
There are indications that the solar administrators will be empowered to conduct local government election. Of course, RESIC has been membership of that agency has been constituted and names forwarded to the National Assembly for approval and all that, meaning that you people will conduct local government elections. What do we expect from you? Fairness?
Yes.
Bias?
Yes. By my training, I said I'm a lawyer. And by my training, and by my nature, and what I believe in, as an administrator, I'm supposed to be apolitical and neutral to provide an enabling program for all interested parties and others. This is a local government election. It's not a state election. It's an election that is community-based. And whatever you do, in one way or the other, to thwart the interest of the general public, will stand against you tomorrow. So, for me as an individual, if I'm privileged to be there, I don't have a role just on that day of the election or the build up to the election to make sure there is a peaceful environment, and then we bring down for all contestants to campaign, and also provide the necessary security so that we have a credible and acceptable election at the end of the day.
All right, it's a common knowledge that most council workers are simplified at heart. How has that affected their acceptance of you?
Well, from friends like him, I told them they're civil servants. The solar navigation, what you just said,
This is a common knowledge. It's a presupposition.
It's an assumption, and it's an assumption. And I have told you all the principal officers that have worked with me, and this is a new administration. And you have to treat it as a man in this administration if you want to be useful. So the choice is yours. You either key in or you make yourself a little bit to whatever you want to.
All right, we're winding now, but not without this question. The Calabar people traditionally dispose waste at the waterside. Should this continue, considering the fact that world over there are efforts by world environmentalists to curb river pollution? Should this continue?
No.
So what are you doing in that direction?
What I have been doing before now, I have discussed with the director of the health department that the way we do our waste is not proper. And what else have been brought to me or what to do? It's just it's a bit expensive. But we take the prototype of that in July. And come to waste, I also reached out to the health workers in their campaign. They are on Tuesday, they will be in them and I've gone around the communities I've gone around. I've tried to see how we can do centralized waste collection. But I need the support of the CDC, the chiefs, because I can't do it alone. It's a practice that I've been on for some time. So it has to be a gradual process. First of all, I said we provide dustbin for disposable bin. Now we have got about 150 people working in green and clean core. The second step is how do we, because if you ask me to dispose my waste here, it should not stay there more than a day. It should be disposed as well. That will encourage it. And also engage the chiefs in various compounds who we call individual numbers. How we can see to talk to these persons and use slight sanction to those who will default, those who will default. And it has a place. So we started the movement. We provided the coordinator for sanitation and brought a proposal of waste disposal dumps in various strategic areas. Yes.
Okay, so by way of conclusion, what legacy would you want to leave behind as you leave office?
I have told myself that we have to create, before I leave, I will create the possible means of creating revenue. We are taking census of all the houses at the Sanford session to do proper documentation. Those who have not done proper documentation will be paying for documentation. That is one aspect. Then two, by God's grace, if we have some fun, we will go into transport, slight transport business, because
the council?
Yes, we get buses and we will run the market. That is the great route of revenue for ourselves.
You have tasted power now.
Yes.
You have also tasted money. would have been tempted to vie for a political office, to be able to do more for the people after your tenure as administrator?
It's not in my making. When you first become an administrator, it's the grace of God. The kind of God. I'm not anything. But I'm not a politician. Yes, I'm not a politician. Yes. But I'm in a political environment, so I can call myself a politician.
So you will be tempted to fight for...
If the people so wish, let me not say too much on what people do. If the people so wish, and I have a platform.
But you must first show interest before they can say, oh, you have the abilities and capabilities to handle the office.
There should be willingness on the people that wants me to serve them, to call me, to be easier for me to prepare. But not for me to impose myself on them. Okay, let me. Yes. And what I'm saying there is this. I'm not a politician, but now I'm a political career, so I'm going to prison in that line. But mine is a different. The politician with the fear of God. If the people want me, they will indicate. And I also have to pray to seek guidance. If not so, nothing works.
You have complained about the attitude of the staff to work in ASARI. Are there incentives you have mapped out to give them, to encourage them to come to work?
Yes, just like I said, yes. Just like I said, I had a meeting with them. I met a system where they provide the welfare service for them, apart from their salary. There's a certain amount of money that is given to them.
The staff?
Yes, apart from their salary.
Before you came?
Yes.
So you have
I sustained it.
Oh.
And I also promise that once our revenue increases, once our allocation increases, I will also increase it. In order to support them to complete. Then secondly, I've started making the work environment conducive for them to work. I've started with the management staff, furnishing their offices, whatever that is. I want to stress that. Well, now this space will be with the directors. The directors of the people take a new shape. And we now go to the other segments of staff. So that the workplace, because most of the companies are no seats. To provide a conducive atmosphere for them. That type of things are between now and the end of July. We're taking them to face. We finish with the ones of the directors, the management staff. So the next one is the last category of staff, which I will go into. And we will go to proposal and I will propose that we will finish that and just on the market something. But the only thing I get is more resources. Because nobody will complain and I don't have a place to sit. And lastly, as I said, because of we observe that some of them will come from the country to make it easier for them, as I said, through to this welfare transport system where we can move them from the airport on the main park and from Juba. And when they close the road and they can also go back. So everybody will say that it is difficult for me, not for free of charge, but for a token. So that it is easier for the whole force to do the facility administration.
IBIAPUYE Charles Esquire, Administrator of ASARI local area, we want to thank you so much for your time with us. I wish you well in your sojourn as Administrator of that local area. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
And that's our program for today. Join us again same time, which will bring you another guest on a different topic. I am Solomon Nelson Braid. Stewardship with SNB. Stewardship with SNB. Hello, good afternoon everyone, and thank you for joining us on the program Stewardship with SNB on Rstvlive. This program is watched on GoTV channel 142 and Start Time channel 113. You can also join us on social media handles such as YouTube and Facebook at Rstvlive Online. My name is Solomon Nelson. The movie and camera lens of Stewardship has arrived in our West Local Government area, where we have come to find out administrator is spending the people's money to their betterment. And so joining me live on this program is Mr. Promise Jacob. He is the administrator of AHOADA West Economic Area. Administrator, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. You're welcome, Mr. Nelson.
Yes, I am tempted to ask you what administrative experiences have you had or you're learning on the job. Let me start with that.
Okay, I used to be a civil servant with the Unified Local Government Service for 35 years before I retired. I retired at the rank of head of local government administration, grade level 17. And by implication of Section 36 of the Local Government Law 2018, number 5 2018, a subsection there states that the head of local government administration shall be the equivalent of the permanent secretary and is entitled to every rights and privileges of a permanent secretary in the state civil service. So I retired at that level.
Requisite experience to administer AHOADA.
Yes, I do.
That's exactly what we established. All right. As a follow-up, are you satisfied, or were you satisfied with the way the LG was administered before you took over the reins of power? And if you are not, what areas do you find not okay, and how do you also plan to correct them?
Satisfaction is a matter of fact. What you or some part of the public will see as satisfaction may be dissatisfaction to some others. And I think you may not be able to achieve that within these few minutes of engaging you or you engaging me. So I will stop at the point of saying satisfaction is a matter of fact.
Did you meet any money in the coffers of AHOADA West as you assumed office? And what did you do with it?
When we began, the first thing we did was to clear the outstanding arrears of salaries and allowances of past office holders whose tenure ended in June 2024. Okay? Because they were owed about 3 months' salaries. Now we immediately went into action, cleared the allowances and also cleared the outstanding arrears of salaries of civil servants and public health workers.
Okay, so let's share with us, or share with the public, what the policy thrust is in juxtaposition with the mandate given to you by the state administrator.
Okay, remember, we are in an emergency rule governance and administration. Fortunately, you mentioned about the mandate given to us. And when the mandates are given, our policy trust must be compelled by that mandate. Believing that we are charged to make sure we take security of our communities and our local government as number one. Primary health care, primary education, youth and community engagements, welfare and discipline of local government, civil servants, sanitation and environment management. So we run with a kind of work schedule, meaning every day of our work has what we want to achieve for that day in pursuant to the mandate given to us by the administrator of Rivers State. For example, we have held a few security summits or meetings. We have held several sessions with the youth organizations that cover the 6 unit zones or clans that make up AHOADA West local government area. We have also met with women group, women associations. We meet regularly with the heads of security agencies in pursuant of that mandate, analyzing the security situation, profiling possible solutions to where we need to. We've been engaging with pipeline surveillance contractors because within security, number one under that is protection of federal government assets, especially in oil and gas. We have a lot of oil wells here. We have load junctions for LNG. We have some for then SPDC now Renaissance. you know, and we have responsibility to make sure these assets are protected. And we've been up and doing to make sure we don't have any report of vandalism of pipelines or assets that are producing for federal government.
Interesting. Administrator, you are a product of emergency rule, but you cannot work in isolation. We want to know what kind of relationship you have with the workers of AHOADA West area.
Wonderful.
Tell us about it.
When we came, we convened a meeting of the entire civil servants, where they presented some of their challenges and some of the things they desire we do for them. And by God's grace, we started implementing what they wanted that are in line with the law and the mandate given to us, especially staff welfare provisions. Every month, we make sure those disinherited looking workers who cannot afford the clear means of paying transport to and fro are given provisions under what we call staff welfare packages, which enables them to always come here at ease. We have also considered building a 10-unit 4-bedroom flat for principal officers of council. That is in the pipeline. By the time the administrator of the state grants approval for that, we will commence in earnest. So these are part of welfare packages to make sure workers, old and young, senior and junior, are comfortable to perform their functions.
All right, Administrator, I don't want to know, or I care less about what you have received so far in the 2 months that you have been administrator of the West area. But what is important to me here is that how have you been able to manage the resources at your disposal sectorally? Let's break it down sectorally.
Okay.
Yes.
Permit me to put Fra Luca Pacioli. Fra Luca Pacioli was an Italian monk who was credited to be the pioneer who wrote a treatise in bookkeeping and accounts. The first person that was mentioned codified accountancy into debit and credit. In 1494 AD, he said, frequent accounting makes for lasting friendship. So telling you what I do and how I do it with what is entrusted within me, I think it's a normal obligation. Having said that, we've done quite a lot of things. We've cleared every allowances and salaries of civil servants we met here, including the currently approved salary structure of public health workers called co-hens. We have paid the arrears, we have paid the salaries up to date. Okay, that's the sector of welfare of the civil servants. Then the primary healthcare sector, we've done some investigations. We have established don't need assessment for the 28 primary healthcare centers in the local government areas spread across various communities. We have articulated what they need. Those that need remodeling, those that need renovation, those that need equipment, we have put them together for readiness. Fortunately, His Excellency, the Administrator of Rivers State, has directed that we submit list of projects we need to do for our people for approval, which we have done. Before that directive came, we swung into action to start remodeling of primary health care center at AHOADA community, which has gotten to an advanced stage of like 80% completion before the directive of His Excellency came. And as soon as the approvals come, all the other projects submitted that will be approved will be executed or commence on them. So that's the sector of the health. The primary health education, we've done similar things. We visited secondary schools, we visited primary school, we visited vocational centers. We have also made our submissions to Rivers State government, so we can be granted approval to commence implementing our plan. Like in the secondary health, we visited Jankrama Hospital, and we've made engagements to make sure the whole environment is clear, because it has become a forest for a while now. We have also sought the approval of the state government to grant us the permission to start contributing in terms of reconstructing any of the structures within the finances of the council. And we have also formed them into liaison offices in in terms of relating with youth in the respective communities. We hold regular meetings with them, get feedback, and recommend areas of improvement. As I speak to you, so many communities that never had youth governance for some time because of one issue or the other that never let them hold elections. We are trying to resolve them, and they have planned their elections that will be coming up a few while from now. And very soon you hear an elaborate meeting of a joint meeting of traditional rulers, youth association, women group, and all that. We'll be meeting with them individually, group by group, but at the end will be a summit that is made up of the entirety of community leadership. I think we are doing well with that. We have also considered building youth secretaries that never existed. Yes, and the designs are ready. The bills of engineering measurement and evaluation is ready, but we are waiting for approval from His Excellency. We have also submitted it to the state government to make sure we have approval. As soon as approval comes, we will commence building youth secretariats in each district of AHOADA West local government, namely the Ubie district, the Ibuduya district, the Ubobi district, the Ngene district, the Obogoro district. Okay? And each of them will have a youth secretariat in their respective headquarters that will be, it's been designed to contain a multi-purpose hall for the youth, then offices for each of the members of the executive committee, and an ICT center. Part of it will be an ICT center where youth from each district shall be trained in information communication technology. We have made arrangements to get devices to make them accurate in this modern day. So that's how far we've done about that.
Question Administrator, you have talked to the 99,000, and what is very difficult to fault you. However, this question is very important to you and the people of AHOADA West. You are aware, all of us are aware, that AHOADA West is one of the flood-prone local government areas in the state. What strategies have you put in place to mitigate flooding in AHOADA West?
I've never met with us on 23rd of April to give us deeper details on the alert that has been published about the flooding that may happen this year. And in that, we were also advised to deploy some measures waiting for it to happen, in case it happens. One of them is the appointment of local government area emergency management committee that is compelled by the law that established them. We have a local government area emergency management committee headed by Mr. IBIAPUYE, and we've started work with them. We have created a community sensitization subcommittee of that committee. We have also met with the ministry. We've submitted our proposals to the River State Government Committee on that emergency flood preparedness, which I think by the time they give us approval on the suggestions we made, we will be able to go a good way in managing the flood. From there, we created about 27 internally displaced persons camps, and we've also done some need assessment, and the report is already with the River State government of what is needed in each of the camps to make it an environment that can house human beings. They are spread across the zones in the local government area. We have one in Akenema, one or two in Akenema town. We have in Obogoro. We have in Jankrama. We have in Ubeta Primary School. We have in Onyoku Primary School, Onyoku Civic Center, Onyoku Women Hall. We have in Ibiama Primary School. We have in Oyiba Primary School. We have several places. We've done a analysis of our population and the likely areas in the LGA that will be worst hit, and we have properly designated these 27 spots to make sure that our people are not stranded. We have also made submissions on the equipment we need. We need some ICT equipment in these centers to help reporting, because the state and the federal government agencies that will fund and manage this approved management of these processes will require adequate and accurate pieces of information. So we put systems in place. We are only waiting for the flood to come. By God's grace, a flood will come and recede without recording victims here, because it has happened before and we are already aware of what we shall do.
Other sources of income.
Are you aware the local government is underfunded in Nigeria? You are not aware?
The local governments.
The local governments are underfunded.
You mean the 774 local governments?
Are underfunded. Are you aware?
You are talking.
Okay. I'm not talking like an administrator now. I am talking like a nation builder who will contribute to the progress of the local governments and the grassroots thereof. Okay? Because the enormous task upon the shoulder of local government council is great. Remember, there is no president of a country that is not from a local government area.
Correct.
So you will be so fortunate if you are the chairman or the administrator of the local government where the president comes from. So I am just telling you how underfunded the local government system is. Okay? If a local government has a president, like a native of his local government, what does that mean? Anyway, fortunately, there is a recent Supreme Court judgment that rated the autonomy of the local government as enshrined in the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as altered or amended, meaning that the local government is going up with speed now. Okay? The local government will be better now.
Especially with the excess funds coming from the subsidy removal.
Oh,
the excess funds is coming from the subsidy removal. No. The states have more money. The local governments will have more money now.
The local government will have subsidy removal. Do you know that you cannot just conclude about subsidy removal and how much money that will be channeled downward? You know why? There are some indices that regulate how much that go to anywhere. You have not mentioned the primary school enrollment, if it has increased since subsidy was removed, which will cause the increase of allocation. You've not talked about the land mass, whether we have reclaimed more land or whether we have included the ocean and the mainland to form a land mass for the sake of arguing for increase of allocation. You've not told me that subsidy removal does not consequently just increase allocation. There are indices established by National Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission. So challenge me with those indices, point by point, then I will agree with you if the allocation will go high, if it's underfunded or overfunded or it's adequate.
You don't need to agree with me. We're making reference to Mr. President's speech that since the removal of subsidy, the states and the local governments now have more money to do the job for which they were either elected or appointed.
You know, when you ask me about satisfaction, I say it's a matter of fact. Coming to this matter, it is true that the allocation is improved.
Good.
When I say it is underfunded, I'm not saying the allocation is not improving. I didn't say so. I said with the enormous task that shall be upon local government resulting from the full autonomy, the present allocation is still lower than what local government needs to be a local government of a global worth. That's what I said.
All right, let's make progress. We'll soon round off. 2 months allocation we have received so far. Can you name 5 remarkable projects that you have done to the glory of God and to the glory of the advancement of humanity in AHOADA?
Okay, I will remind you of what I already told you.
No, the one you mentioned more than 10.
Calm down. I was 2 months, June 7th. July 7th will make me 3 months. I had already told you we made our submissions to Rivers State Government. It will amount to a violation of lawful order if I went ahead starting projects without the approvals that is being directed. And I also told you before that directive came, we have started remodeling a primary health care center in Oyimba community, which is at an advanced stage now. So we will do more as soon as we receive the directives we are waiting for. So you cannot ask me of how many projects. However, the soft projects I have mentioned, you know, in projects, you divide it between physical project and soft project. I have mentioned volumes of soft projects that we have executed, namely, or among many, youth engagements, okay, contributing to programs of primary health care, immunization, deworming, all kinds of programs. These are soft projects. Those are not the ones within the confines of seeking approval. We have paid school fees for so many junior secondary school centers for NECO exam would have been shut down if not our intervention. We release money to make sure they register as many students as are needed to enable the centers to remain in those junior secondary schools. These are soft projects. I can continue to mention to you over and over and over. We have paid several scholarships. We have so many AHOADA West indigenes who graduated, couldn't process their results to go on youth service because they couldn't afford to clear their arrears of school fees. We have paid so many school fees, whatever expenses that are required to make sure that they get their papers and proceed for NYSC. We have done that. We have also done assistance to so many who are having ailments that is threatening their life and they are living. So we've done so many of that. These are all soft projects.
What are those communities that are difficult to access from Agema? What are you doing to make travel easier for the people to live along those communities?
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Have you been to Ogogoro before?
Ogogoro?
Ogogoro is made up of 3 major communities. They are the ethnic nation of their own. Classified as a zone, is not accessible for now by road. If you want to go to Ogogoro from here, you will travel back to AHOADA East through Abuja and you connect, or you go through Bayelsa here or where and all that. The language they speak is Ogbea. Okay? But by God's grace, effort has been made by the River State government, even past and present, to make sure roads get to those places. So at a point, the work of the administrator here is advocacy. Advocacy for development of his local government. Because some of those things are not within the confines of his financial muscle. For that reason, we deploy advocacy, we lobby, we pray, and make sure that the relevant agency, like before you came, I had a call from Community Affairs Department of Renaissance, former SPDC. They are trying to walk a road to a community. They are trying to resurface a road to a community, you know, and that was because we have been advocating. Some companies who have business, they are also working hard. They were to access a community, but a bridge is in between. Some issues came up and they have come here, and we are trying to resolve it. So those are some of the efforts. And as the water flows up now, we are thinking of getting some boats to deploy to those grounds so that people can get to their homes when they want to travel. We have also submitted requests for clearing of some of these roads, making sure they are walked to a useful state, to make sure that inter-community relations exist with even visitations. People travel freely, people access their communities freely, drive to their homes freely. So those are some of the things that we are trying to work on.
What would you like to be remembered for when you leave office?
Okay, number one, that somebody was posted here for a few days and is able to keep a file containing the few things he did, including remodeling as many health centers as possible, including training so many young graduates and they are graduating, including equipping primary schools, because, you know, okay, when oppressors take over a nation, you know their first target. We are having a conversation, so don't take it as a question, because I will still give the answer. Their first target is to destroy the educational institution, the health institution, and the religious institution, especially the church. So our focus within the mandate given to us is to rebuild these institutions, especially building peace peace building across the community. And building that peace will compel us to embrace the way of justice, because there is no good peace that comes without justice. So we'll be prosecuting the global task for justice, making sure that both human infrastructure, human intellect, human infrastructure, physical infrastructures are attended to within the limit of resources and time we are given to be here. And unfortunately, they will remember that you came here today and discussed.
That's interesting. All right, Mr. Promise Jacob, Administrator of our West Local Area. Thank you so much for your time with us, and we wish you well in your sojourn as Administrator of this historic local area. Thank you so much.
God bless you.
All right, that's it for our program. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Join us again same time. I'll bring you another guest on a different topic. My name is Solomon Nelson Great. Bye for now. Stewardship with SNB. Stewardship with SNB.